Okay, so now what I want to do. I want to go in and block out a body. I'm just going to go to panels. I like layouts, two panes side by side. That's my favorite. And you'll notice quickly if you're doing this right. I can't see a thing. What's going on? Well, if I hit 6, I can see it over here. There's my lovely reference image. And of course, you can only see it on one side. Okay, great. I'm going to go in, and for this one here, I'm going to go to Create Polygon Sphere. And let's just make that big. Not too big, but just big enough. Okay, I'm going to move it up here. Now, what I think I notice is that it needs a little bit of rotation here. I'm just going to hold down J. So I'm putting it so that my North Pole and South Pole are lined up with the butt and the head. And I'm just going to make this roughly big enough this way. Okay, maybe I might go a little bit that way. Not too much. I don't care about that right now. And the next thing is, when I move this and kind of line it up, okay, I notice that I've just got too much geometry. Okay? Too much geometry. So I'm just going to go over here to the inputs, and I'm going to bring the subdivisions axis down. I think I've done this one a few times, so I already kind of know that 12 by 12 works out pretty good on this one. Sometimes I'll go down to like 8 subdivisions in my axis. But this one here, 12, works out pretty good. You want to try to keep this low-ish. Okay, just low enough to get your form. Okay, and the next thing I do, another little trick, as I'm setting this up, I'd like to see through it, and I think X-ray sucks. If I hit the X-ray button, you can use X-ray, but it makes everything X-ray. So what I do is I go zipping into Lambert 1, and here on frame 1, I'm going to go into color, right-click, or not color, sorry, smoke and crack, over to the word transparency, right-click, set a key, and I'll go to, say, frame 10, and I'll drag the transparency up, and I'll right-click, and I'll set a key. And now I've got a little slider in my timeline for checking out my transparency. Notice that it doesn't work on both these at the same time. If I go to Window, Settings, Preferences, and I go into the Timeline Preferences. There it is, and activate Update View active. I want it on all. When I hit Save, now you'll see the slider works on all of them at the same time. Yay! And that way I can kind of control it. I'm happy, and I know it. I'm just going to go and try and get my butt lined up here. So I'm just going to go and grab my Move tool, and I can spend a little bit of time moving each vertex one at a time, or I can use the soft selection. If I tap B, okay, and then I hold down B and I middle click, I can adjust my soft selection. You can also do that by going into the Move tool and kind of going in and playing in the soft selection here. B is the hotkey that triggers it on. I'm just going to do this, and I'll rotator it. Yep. And maybe I'll try scaling in that a bit and see what happens. Nah, it doesn't really work for me. Okay, whatever. That's good enough. And I'm just going to grab my Move tool. Maybe I'll start... Okay. I can nudge this around. Maybe that fall-off's too big, so I'm just going to do some of this. Okay. Great. Yeah, pull this back down. Yay. Okay, that's good enough for now. And I'll just turn off the soft selection. I shouldn't say it's good enough for now, but it's good enough for my soft selection section here. And I'm just going to take this. I'll pull this down. Yeah, I'll pull this one over this way. Try and line that up with the shell. Okay. And I'm zipping my way, the only way I know how, through this little model here. Okay, going in and kind of getting my shape. And also, too, I should keep a good eye on this thing right here. I want to follow that little line right through the shell. Okay. Great. Tweaky time. Tweaky time. Okay, great. Up here, and I'm good. Happy, and I know it. And, okay, something like this. Okay, good enough. And now I'm just going to take a look at this from the top view. Top! And when I'm in the top view, I'm just going to go ahead and grab these here, and maybe I'll do a little bit of soft selection action. I'm going to grab my scale tool and make my butt bigger. I can't believe I said that out loud. I'm going to make my butt bigger. And then I'm going to grab these vertices here. I'm just going to turn off soft selection, and I kind of get the shape. That one there, these are for the neck, and I kind of get the shape. It looks like these images don't line up perfectly, but good enough that I can kind of figure out what I'm doing. Okay, but I've got like a body. shape, and I'm kind of reasonably happy with it. Let's bring this back a bit. Okay, good, good, good. Okay, so I'm getting to this section here. What time is it? Okay, good. And when I get to this section, let's see, I'm just going to grab my head, and maybe I'll make this a little bit smaller. I'm holding down Control, and you can scale it on 2 axes at once. Okay, and I'm just going to move this little section up here to the front. Maybe I'll move that one here, and I'll rotator it. Yep, give it a little rotator. Remember, don't ever say rotator in an interview. Or if you do, don't tell them I told you to say it. Or maybe you could. Who cares? Maybe you could. And I'm just going to grab this, and maybe I'll scale it a bit close there, and then I'll scale it down. I'm using that for my neck. Okay, good enough. Okay, and then I'll just go and start nudging these into place here. Here. I'm looking, there's kind of an eyeball around the head. Okay. There. Pulling this around this way a little bit. I probably need a better image for that. Anyway, I'll just guess. And these ones here, they kind of somehow, I guess my soft selection got wacky. If I just go and scale them together, it makes them straight again. I'm just going to rotate this over this way a little bit. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to line up with this horn. And the horn... the images line up more or less right. Okay, good, good, good. The horn, just before I get involved with the horn here, I'm just going to go and I'm going to insert an edge loop here, insert one here. I'm just going to grab my move tool again, grab this, and I'll pull it over this way. Okay, and this one's good where it is. Maybe I'll do a little bit of tweaky business. I'm just going to pull that back a bit. This one here, I might pull that down a bit. Let's keep an eye on what we're looking on over here. Okay, and that one there, we'll pull that down a little bit. Just trying to even out my geometry flow, making it nice and pretty. Okay, and I'll say that's good. Good enough. See, I keep tweaking. Stop me before I tweak again. Here, I'll just make this opaque for a second here, and I'm just also going to take a look at this, what I've got selected. I've got these 4 points selected. If I just go in and I scale them in towards each other, I kind of round it out. Great. And now when I grab my faces, here I want to build the horn. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hit extrude. When I hit extrude, I'm just going to go right to the move tool, move it up, and then I'll scale it. Just going to scale it small, really small. Okay, now I'm going to make it transparent again, and then I'm going to look for my major kinks. I got a major kink like right here, and if I go in and then scale it in, and I move it, move, and I'm just kind of controlling my polygon flow. Actually, maybe I made it a bit small. There, and I insert an edge loop again, and I just, you know, I can switch to using the hotkeys really, really quick. I'm just using their W to get to my move, and then I want to put in another edge loop. I'll hit G to repeat my last tool command. I look for a major kink, and I'll get that one there, and maybe I'll use my move tool. I hit W, and then I hit R to go to my scale, and then I'm going to go ahead and hit G. I'm looking for my next major kink. There. And I pull this over, and maybe I can rotator it, and then I'll scale it, make sure it's a good shape. Happy, happy, happy. And I'll hit G. I'm looking for another major kink. I'm going to go back down here for a little bit and move this over and scale it down. Hit G. Pop that in there. And I'll just kind of move it around. Hit G. And I'm trying to make all these things kind of squarish. Okay? Maybe a little bit on the rectangular side. I don't want to make everything perfectly square, but I try to make things squarish so I don't stretch anything too bad. Because later on I'm going to take this into ZBrush, and I'm going to detail it in ZBrush. I'm still kind of a believer in the old classic. Model it really well in Maya, then go ahead and detail it in ZBrush. If you got strong concept, this makes the most sense, in my opinion. Anyway, there, and I'm just going to go ahead, grab my move tool, and I got to fix some of these little vertices here at the top, round them out, and okay, good enough, and it feels like I need another edge loop, so I'm going to pop a loop here, Okay, and I'll call that good enough. And I'm just going to look. There's probably some reference image that shows, I think it gets a bit thicker right over around here. Just going to hit my soft selection, switch to my scale tool. Yeah, something like that, I think. I have to grab more references, but something like that. Okay, great. There. So I got that piece done. And what do we got? 1024. Okay, great. Just going to see if I can get the next bit done. I'm going to move from the thorax over into the head shape here. And let's see, I see that nose is right there. What if I go and I grab these little vertices? I'm just going to turn that soft selection off. Okay. And actually, maybe I should have scaled these things flat here first before I got too involved with them. A weird curve throwing me off a bit. It's a curve. Trouble with the curve. Okay, great. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab the insert edge whoop again. Whoop. Whoop over there. Whoop one here. Here a whoop, there a whoop. Everywhere a whoop whoop. Old MacDonald had a quad. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm just going in, doing kind of the same thing I just did in the thorax. And I'll kind of quickly go in and rotate these and get these over around. Okay, great. Kind of flattish here, kind of flattish there. I won't worry about the nose too much right now. I'm just trying to get the general shape blocked in. And and great. We'll get all this done. Okay, head. I'll just take a look at the top view again. And how does my head look? Well, it looks like I could maybe scale it down a bit. You can see my front and side images are way off now. I should have spent a bit more time lining these up. It looks like I did something funky, but I'll pretend that's good. And if I quickly go over and I go to my perspective view, and I just kind of, let's make this opaque so you can see I'm just trying to round this out. Actually, maybe if I just grab that edge, and I grab that edge, and I grab my scaly tool, and I scale them away from each other, that rounds that out pretty good right away. That's the wrong one though. I meant to grab this one and this one, whoop, and that rounds it out. Yay! I'm just going to go ahead and grab my faces, and do the same thing I just did a moment ago. I'm just going to go ahead and hit extrude, switch to my move tool. I'm just going to go up to the first major kink here, and let's rotate this thing around. I miss? No, everything's good. And then I'll go ahead and scale, and maybe I'll rotate it just a little bit more. And I'm just going to hit G and extrude again. Stop me. There. And I'll just quickly grab my rotate tool and rotate that into place and maybe scale it down a bit. Okay, and then I'm going to start working on my major kinks again. Tell me yet. Okay, just trying to go as fast as I can to get this under 15 minutes. I might have to break this into a second video. But if I go in and I use insert edge whoop, and I'm going to look, there's a major kink area right there. So I'm just going to scale that down, move it over here. I scaled it down too much. I'll rotate a little bit, kind of give it a better flow. I'm just going to hit G, do the same thing here. Scale it. Whoop. Good shape. Good. And hit G. Go to the major kink area. There. And I think I could probably get away with just doing this really quick. Okay, G. And maybe that needs to be scaled a bit. Oh, this one's actually looking big and obnoxious now, so I gotta scale it down, move it over, twitchy. Move. Okay, good. And hit G. Go to the major kink first. Split it in half and see how you feel about it. And I'm gonna hit G again. I'll put it here. G. Here. Okay, great. And now I'll just grab some vertices. And there, I've got that pretty much lined up. And let's see what it looks like when it's all opaque. That's pretty good shape. And 1433. Still going to do some more refining and things like that. I think I'm going to stop the video here, and I'll make another one. I should save, and I'm also just going to delete my history. Freeze my transformations. And I'm a happy little guy. Boop. Stop.